Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Felix Ayambode, and in case this is your first time on this channel, please smash on the subscribe button and click on the like button if you like this video, you got value for this video. And I also encourage you to try to share this video with your friends and family. Now, recently I've been getting a lot of messages about how do I study in the US, what are the steps to study in the US, I don't want to make mistakes, and so on and so forth. So because of that, I've actually decided to show this video. So today I'll be talking about steps to US study, steps to studying in the US. So the first step is to research your options. Research your options. There are actually various options for you to actually study in the US. Now, one of the options are community colleges. Community colleges. What are community colleges? Community colleges are 2-year post-secondary colleges or school where you can actually get an associate degree of arts or science. So they are post-secondary schools, 2 years. So it is what we call in Africa College of Education or vocational colleges. So these are vocational schools, technical schools where you can actually get an associate degree of arts or science. Now the good news is that community colleges are actually cheaper than 4-year universities. So if you decide to go through this route, you can actually spend 2 years in a community college and then transfer your credit to a 4-year university, and then you will not start from the first year because you'll have spent 2 years in a community college. So the 2 years will actually be taken into account. So that is the good news. Now another option is to go straight into a 4-year university. Mind you, going straight into a 4-year university tends to be more expensive, even though there are schools that are actually cheaper than other schools. But going to a community college before transferring to a 4-year university tends to be cheaper because community colleges are actually cheaper. So this is actually an option that you may want to explore, either going to a community college first before going to a 4-year university. And mind you, when you transfer your credit from a community college to a 4-year university, you will not be starting from the first year. So your 2 years will be taken into account. So, or if you don't want to go to a community college, you can decide to go straight to a 4-year university. And mind you, that might be a little bit more expensive. Now, and apart from that, there are also graduate programs. Now, for you to actually do a graduate program, you must have gotten your first degree, and graduate programs take into account masters and PhD. So there are also academic graduate programs, professional graduate programs. So you may want to decide what you want to do. Now, one of the things that will actually help you in deciding which program to choose or which route to take are your priorities. What are your priorities? Why do you want to study in the US or you want to study in Canada? What is your goal? What is your vision? What do you want to become? What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to live? Do you want to live in an urban place or in a non-urban space? What are your goals? So your priorities will inform the kind of decision that you actually take. So the first step is to research your option. Know what you want. Do you want to go through the community college route? You want to go to a 4-year university, or do you want to do a graduate program? The second option is for you to ascertain your financial capacity. Ascertain your financial capability. Do you have enough funds to actually fund your study in the US? Listen to me. The truth of the matter is that studying in the US is very expensive. And then another way to defray the cost of studying in the US is by getting scholarships, research assistantships, or teaching assistantships. So that is one way of defraying the cost of studying in the US. So when you look at your pocket, you look at your bank account, do you have sponsors? How do you intend to actually sponsor your study in the US? You need to come up with a plan in case you have a scholarship that gives you a full ride. I understand that. That is good news. Congratulations to you. But if you don't have a scholarship, what is your plan? How do you intend to fund your study? You don't want to come to the US and then get stuck and get frustrated, get stranded. So you want to come up with a plan. How do you intend to actually pay for your school fees? Do you have enough funds? Do you have people that are ready to actually support you? So you actually need to think about that. So if you don't have enough funds to actually fund your study in the US, I will encourage you to apply for scholarships, apply for research assistantship, apply for teaching assistantships. Now, as a student, when you come to the US, you will be allowed to work for 20 hours per week. So during the academic year, so during the break, the spring break, Thanksgiving break, and during summer, you will be allowed to work for 40 hours. Mind you, that may not be enough to help you to actually pay for your school fees. So you may want to come up with a solid plan, a concrete plan on how to fund your studies in the US. So the first step is to research your option. The second step is to ascertain your financial capacity, or to take a critical look of your finances. The third step is to complete your application. Complete your application. In completing your application, you actually need to be careful about deadlines. You need to be careful about requirements. Different schools might actually have different requirements, but the most common requirements are SAT. It might be SAT if you are going for undergrad. SAT, you may need to show proof of your SAT, your score in SAT, ACT. If you are not coming, if English, for example, is not your native language, or you are not from an English-speaking country, some schools will ask you to actually take the TOEFL, that is Test of English as a foreign language, or IELTS. While some other school might actually waive it for you if you are from an English-speaking country, that is, or you went to a school where the language of instruction was actually English. So some school might actually want to ask you to show proof that you actually went to a school where the language of instruction was actually English, or if you are from an English-speaking country. However, there are some schools that will never actually waive that requirement for you, even if you are from an English-speaking country, because according to them, if your native language, or you are not a native speaker of English, they may want to actually ascertain your level, or judge your level, the level you are at as far as English is concerned. So you may want to take standardized tests such as SAT, ACT, TOEFL, IELTS. So you need to actually contact the school, go through the school's website, and then see what their requirements are. And in case you like any requirement to be waived, I think it will be a good idea to actually send an email to the school. So research your option, ascertain your financial capabilities, and then complete your application. Another document you will need in completing your application is a writing sample. A writing sample actually helps schools or admission committee determine or know how critical you are in your thinking. It helps them to assess your analytical skills, your critical thinking skills, and how you think, how you write. So by submitting that, they will know how you think and how proficient you are in the language, and how you put your thoughts to paper. Another document is SOP, statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is a document where you actually show how your experiences have actually prepared you for the program you're actually applying for. And in that document, you actually need to show your interest, why you actually decided to study in that particular school, or to actually apply for admission in that particular school, and some other thing we actually need to go into writing a powerful and strong statement of purpose. So you may also need to submit an essay and other documents. So you actually need to find out from the school and take your time. The rule of thumb is to start applying early. You also need recommendation letters. Now, in asking for recommendation letters, I suggest that you talk to professors or to teachers very early. Talk to people that actually know you, that actually know your work, that will be able to write about you in a detailed manner. Not people that will just scribble anything. People that will write in a detailed manner. People that will market you to the admission committee. People that will market you to people that will actually look at your to your admission document. So you may want to talk to people that you know have your interest at heart, and that will take time to write a stellar recommendation letter for you. And then the fourth step is, now that you have applied, you've gotten your admission, the fourth step is to apply for your student visa. Now there are three categories of student visas. The first category is the F1 visa. The second category is the J1 visa, and the third category is the M1 visa. The F1 visa is for students. The student visa, the J1 visa, is an exchange student visa, exchange visitors visa rather. So this is the kind of visa that is actually given to students, to professors, to exchange visitors as well. And the M1 visa is for people that are actually coming for vocational programs, coming to learn English or language programs, and so on and so forth. So the kind of program you are going for will determine the kind of visa that you are actually going to apply for. Now, while applying for a visa, make sure that you fill your form very well. Make sure that you fill the DS-160 very well. Now, it is one thing to get admission, it is another thing to get a visa. So while going for your visa, you may want to be very prepared. Go online, look for commonly asked F1 questions, commonly asked J1 visa questions, and so on and so forth, and prepare answers. Practice, and make sure that you go with all the required documents. So now that you have gone to the embassy, you have gotten your visa, the last step to studying in the US is to prepare for your departure. Now that you have gotten your visa, you have gone through all these steps, you've done your research, you have ascertained your financial capacity, you've completed your application, you applied for visa, you've gotten the visa. Now it is time to prepare for your departure. Start reading about that part where you're actually going to. If you may want to actually book your accommodation from a home country, you may actually want to start reading about the US to avoid cultural shock. You may want to start reading about the American culture, how things are done in the US. Start learning about the part of the US where you are going to stay, and start packing your bag. Start packing your documents. Start packing your loads gradually, and things that you are actually going to fly with. So from the time that you get your visa, it is time to start thinking about your trip. Start booking your flight. Start thinking about things that you actually want to travel to the US with. So by doing that, I believe that you are going to have a smooth experience in the US. So thank you for watching this video. This is the end of the video. In case you like this video, you got value, please click on the like button. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please make sure you subscribe and share this video with your friends and families, and I will see you in the next video.